Hello, welcome to this video. Tuning in, sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome. Welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness. I want to go into a little bit of car flow and just talk a little bit about the energies. I just want to go into flow actually, but a little background. Um, One of the biggest messages that I've been getting is in regards to just how much our reality has shifted and how much we just don't realize our reality has shifted and how much of an impact or a ripple effect that we are having on not only the reality around us, but the people around us and our environment. And so one of the reasons I thought this was important is because my guides are constantly talking about time. So my intention with this video is to maybe tune in a little bit about time and maybe tune in with the guides and just kind of see what could be helpful around just how things have shifted. I feel like I want to go into that, delve into that a little bit deeper, but we'll see what the guides have to say. It was meant to be felt, not necessarily understood on a linear basis. And yeah, so we'll go from there. Our concept on time is a preconceived notion. And this is a play on words for all of us that are potentially tuning into this video now or this message, have all been born into a pattern. We have all been born into a certain time frame, if you will. We were born at a certain time and we have learned how to tell time, if you will, or how to recognize how time impacts our life and therefore our reality. Yet this is something that has been told to us. It has been passed down generationally, one might say. And we would venture to say that the previous generations and the future generations did not tell time in the same way. Time did not have the same impact or story that it does now compared to what it might have been like in olden times or what it is like in the future. And we are headed toward the future. We are in the future now. And the way in which we tell time is also shifting into that future profile, play on words. And so we are being called, hearing during these prolific times, we are being called to timeshare, if you will, and to time travel. And this is all a play on words, for this is a shared and collective experience. And the experience that we have in this particular collective of reality maintains a particular wheel or clock, if you will, that keeps us locked into a particular pattern or pattern organization. The way in which we organize our days, the way in which we organize how we frame out our days, our time zones, if you will, are all deeply intertwined within time. And yet, this is a concept that few people really understand, myself included. It is a concept that comes pre-packaged with preconceived notions and ideas about how we are able to access this particular tool, if you will. We are being invited to open the toolbox. We are being invited to peer into the future and look inside to recognize that time has been slipping. We have now unlocked a portal, if you will. And this particular portal leads to a deeper innate intelligence that is beyond this ideology of localized systems. For we are tuning into a multi-dimensional facet of many more systems than we have previously been told about. And this is all a play on words, telling time, telling a tale, what we have been born into, where we are headed, all of the above. All of this is birthing itself anew, one might say, and we're being called to tell time in a different way, to tell time how we wish to operate within it. For it is something or a construct that we all co-create together through the fabric and the weaving of reality in a form or a way to inform our reality, how we wish to operate within it, or a way of telling information. And as we travel through this particular portal, how we access information is changing. The dialect, I'm hearing dialect, the dialectric, the way in which we travel through the energies or the dielectrics that we are all part of, the aether, so to speak, the electricity that moves through the body, through all of our senses, have all are all changing, and we are tidying up and untying knots. We are not located within the same conventional motherboard we might have been conventionally located in before, and I'm hearing conveniently located. This is a multi-dimensional conversation, and so we invite those listening to not necessarily hang on to a linear presentation, but to open up to the feelings that are being expressed through this particular channel of communication and open up to more of a sense of time. And I'm hearing localization. So this is a play on words. When I say play on words, it means it has multiple meanings. It's multidimensional, it's multifaceted. And at some point I might come back and readdress or address what those words might mean in a multidimensional way. So it's just like recognize that there's a play on words about this. And so the space in which we are operating within has also changed. And so our directional focus is directly affecting the patterns that time makes and how often we create these patterns and how often we I'm just this is an interesting one. It's hard to it's hard if I don't just drop into flow to really just allow, because I have so many questions that are coming through about this because I'm organized based on a systematic approach to my day. And I think what I'm going to do is just let this flow. And then I might do a video, a follow-up video, and just say, hey, let's talk more about what this means. And so let us play with that for a moment as well. For the flow in which we address these questions and concerns is bilateral. It is not necessarily in one direction. It is back and forth because we are co-creating in a different equanimity, play on words. We are creating in a different scope, play on words. We are creating in a different reality system that is virtually, and this is a play on words, like think about virtual reality, but it's organic. The way in which the organism, the microorganism, from micro to macro, and all organisms exist, work within a scale, a harmonic unification that is an ebb and a flow, if you will, a constant, an energy in motion from one perspective. And how we perceive this energy in motion changes the motion that we are perceiving. And this is all a direct reflection of our perceptivity, our ability to perceive reality. And as we interact with reality in a different way, with a different set of constraints or a container or a different package, that which was contained within the old diagram, within the old blueprint, within the old architecture of reality, must up level to a new open container system, if you will. And as we open into this foretelling, this portal of development, we change our developmental communication. We change the way in which we develop our communication and the way in which our communication develops through us. And so as we change how we interact and communicate with our environment, and we change and up level through the new framework that we are co-creating together, we must establish new minutes. That's a play on words, like notes, right? And that's a play on words. We must establish how it is that we collect these notes, the notes that we co-create, and the minutes that we are keeping, so to speak. Play on words. how we are co-creating these minutes is changing. The way in which we co-create within these slots, this is a play on words that has something to do with the slit experiment in physics, right? The two slit experiment, double slit experiment. How we change is directly related to how we are moving in and during this change. This changes the directional flow and momentum, or the velocity or the stream of consciousness that we are all partaking in, the wave that we are riding. Play on words, writing and writing. For we are each written within this organism of humanity. And through human development, we access more of our innate organizing, and organizational pattern co-creation. And some may call this evolution. The way in which our DNA responds or transcribes information, or the way which we transcribe the information that is stored within our DNA and our programming, is changing because we are changing. And which came first, the chicken or the egg, one might say? We would venture to say that all is now. And this is a multidimensional way of playing with time. Yet the many facets that we are contemplating at this time are important so that we can reorganize within this reconfiguration. For as we add more minutes to the clock, if you will, we change the way in which we transcribe those minutes. And this will be a good one to play with later because I can see so many different directions that this message could be taking us. We change how we scale our reality. We change the depth and the I'm hearing tribolo, Trbulo. I'm also hearing lights are low, moving in stereo. That's tremolo. There's the play on words here. We change the schematic and core set of frequency dynamics that allow us to create from a time-based schematic, a time-based modular sector, and we change how we transcribe information from within this quantum communication. And we are not just referring to this particular message that has a multidimensional, multifaceted, and multifunctional play on words. We are talking about the quantum word. Bird is the word. I'm hearing the quantum word, like the word was one, the word was the original origination, original tetragram. I'm seeing like gram, like you send out telegram, that it's all a play on words too. And so we change the harmonics and make the appropriate adjustments that interlay, overlay, and weave through the time schematics or the landscape adjustments. We adjust to the landscape, and this is creating a portal in which we access time differently. This portal is under construction, we could say. And how we interpret our reality, again, we go back to what we said earlier, must be practiced. We must practice differently. I'm going to pause just for a moment. I'm hearing deck the halls with halls on holly, la 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 la. Okay. So when I think of that, I think of holly, deck the halls. I'm seeing halls of Amenti. I'm hearing Christmas. I'm seeing the lights on a tree. I'm seeing the light body. I'm seeing the light body of not only humanity, but the galactic time scale. I'm sure this has something to do with is it Richard Rudd? And there's a person that Rupert, no, that's somebody different. I think it's Richard. No, that's Gene Keys is Richard Rudd, sorry. Sorry guys, I'm getting these names mixed up. Who's the guy? Rudolf Steiner. There we go. I think it has something to do with with what he teaches. I know Robert Edward Grant talks a lot about this, and I know that the last octave, Robert talks about this because my friend Candace is posting all the time. She convinced me to buy his book. I haven't read it yet. It's thick. Big book. Same with Gene Keys. All right, I digress. I'm just laughing. Who has time for that? No, I'm just kidding. Um, I like to take these books and kind of take little nuggets from them, but there are people who can download all of that information and then interpret it in a variation of ways. And what I'm seeing is there's a play on words here with the scales. It has to do with the balance, it has to do with harmonics, it has to do with measurements, it has to do with sound, and I keep hearing adjustment, appropriation of adjustments. And so from a practical standpoint, we are I'm hearing nesting. So when I see nesting, I'm seeing a nest, but I'm also seeing that has to do with physics, a reference to quantum biology, potentially. I'm hearing quantum biology. And so we are essentially weaving interdimensionally. And so because we are weaving interdimensionally, and we are tuning into fractality, it is more difficult for us to play in this, I'm hearing false reality of entrapment, and we are more inclined to play with the real organic reality that is open and it is adjusting itself accordingly. And so while we are each of us born into a particular, I'm hearing we have a golden parachute, but I'm seeing it's a parachute. I'm seeing that like we went from being in this particular model of time, space, this equals that, to now that has been poof opened. And I'm hearing it, the golden parachute is a play on words. I know it means something to do with retirement and corporate stuff, but they're playing with that like it's a golden parachute. You can jump and land and you're going to be supported. But I'm also seeing the golden age, right? Oh, and I'm being called to play with parachute because then I hear chutes and ladders, and I'm hearing para as in paranormal. Like it's beyond that which we're used to doing. And so from a very, again, basic understanding, the way in which we interpret time is changing. This is why many of us have felt off balance. We have felt like time is speeding up. And at times we have lost time. Other times we have gained time. And it is a matter of us coming into a state of synchronization and synchronizing our clocks with this new multidimensional system. Now, as much as we think that if you sync a clock up, all clocks will go off at the same time, they are all slightly different. They are all slightly in tune with their own framework. I'm just being shown like if you've ever been in a house, like I guess clocks sync up somehow when they're all together. I don't know if that's just a wives' tale or not, but like grandfather clocks we are all syncing up in our own way. And so those that are more ensnared, play on words, within the old time frame are going to find it more difficult to adapt to the fluidity of this new time frame of reality. For the framework is all based on adaptability and fluidity. The more in tune we can be with the natural, I'm just seeing nature itself, the more adaptable we become, the more entranced we become in the inorganic. And again, this isn't a judgment-based message. It's like if we're really tuned in only to technology, our reality will intersect and interweave with it in a much more time-based way. And so it's this merge that we have currently going on. And this portal that we are currently in, this ability to jump timelines, we might say, is being activated within each person who transcribes or subscribes to this subscription, or who can transcribe this subscription. So each of us is subscribing, if you will, to a belief system, a presentation of reality structures, that which we were born into and that which we are currently birthing, that which has been birthed anew, and that which is the future of our reality now. And ironically, we can tune into all of this at the same time. If we were able to see all of these versions, we would recognize that time is merely an imprint, if you will. It is a moment in which we utilize to read in a more linear fashion. If you were to pick up a book and all you saw were words with no order, or there were no page numbers to define the order of the words, or even worse, there were only letters strewn without any particular order, it would not be legible. It would not be readable. And so this is a basic presentation of time in the sense of transcriptions and inscriptions, in which the imprint has been placed upon us so that we can move through our reality construct in a very point A to point B fashion. It is a way in which we can interpret reality slowed down. Even though it feels as if time is speeding up, it is not that time is really going anywhere. It is that we are moving. We are moving at a different pace. We are keeping pace. We have upgraded and up leveled, and the pace of growth is outpacing the old system, if you will, of time telling. And so this is telling in itself that times are changing, and the way in which we interpret time needs to pick up the pace as well. There will be times in which we communicate with our future selves in this now moment and are able to access more information. And we would venture to say that is happening now. So as you access the future version of you that has within it a new, I'm hearing prescription, play on words, description of reality, and way in which like I'm being shown instruction set, a new instruction set. We are being gifted that now, yet it is almost impossible to read that instruction set without the proper, I'm hearing, eyewear, glasses. So this, when I say eyewear, I'm seeing like with eyes to see. You know, we have to open up. um it's like, if you don't, I'm not a computer programmer, so if you handed me an algorithm, I wouldn't know necessarily how to read it. And that's kind of what's happening. I'm being shown that we're being handed this information, but we can't read it. And so we're looking at it going, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't compute, it feels wonky. And again, what I'm hearing is its adjustments are being made so that we can grow, so that we can expand, so that we can, I'm just seeing spread out, like mycelium spreading out and just opening um into a bigger part of reality than, and I'm hearing non-localized. That's been kind of coming up a lot from localized, but it's also a play on words. Localized reality to non-local. And we will come back to stabilize in order to localize later, because this is a theme, an ongoing theme that I've had in session, one in particular, but I'm also seeing it in just general for us to mm, we'll play with that. So when I see stabilize, I'm seeing like, hold on. Um, Yeah, we'll come back to that. We will give more down the road, so to speak, about how one can help to stabilize these frequencies and create new patterns of understanding and personal growth. For now, we are just kind of staying in this flow because it allows us through this wordplay to express to you in playing and listening from an open and expanded point of view and a center from within the heart center and space of opening. It allows you to feel into a set of cues, if you will, cues, clues, and activations through word technology. And this word technology has moments of I'm hearing clicking into place and expanded perceptivity, or gives the listener, the feeler, if you will, the person using their senses, a deeper ability to perceive into what it is we are expressing. For even though it seems confusing, there is a certain rhythm that is being expressed within this particular style or verbiage. If we were to lay out this message in a particular diagram that might be run, let's say, through a program, and it could be any type of computer language or geometric or mathematical patterning, you would actually see a shape. You would see multiple shapes that are laid out in the framework that is communicated through almost a visual sounding board.